Alrighty, and thank you for tuning in to Sarge's recap. At the worst possible moment, I started setting this up and she started going on about, Aztec Hunter. Yeah, hi everybody. I'm sure you're really, really wanting to deal with whatever we are doing. Well, what we're doing is, I currently work in retail, and Riviera has worked in retail. And so I kind of wanted to explain some things that most retail workers, at least in our area, are doing. And I also wanted to explain, you know, basically I'm gonna bitch about it and give my 2 cents on how I can make it better. Does that mean it would be? No, I'm fucking nobody. So, in order to tell you guys just how bad it can get, I want a fictional, or to my knowledge, fictional retail shop, and that's gonna be kind of our example so that we can, instead of me having to say the store in which I work at 40,000 times, because that's gonna get just annoying as hell for everybody involved. Let's say they don't care, they know it's shit. But let's say, hell, let's say traders. Just, it's like a pawn shop. Like a massive pawn shop. Nah, the pawn shop doesn't work because pawn shops are really small and so they don't really see a lot of the problems. Let's say it's traders, but it's like a mega-sized pawn shop that's basically like a Walmart. Just a used Walmart. God, that limo's hideous. Anyway, so, the first thing that you've probably noticed if you've walked in is that there are either way too many goddamn employees that are constantly bugging you, or if you need an employee, you can't find them. No, they're not all hiding in the break room normally. So they use what's called, a lot of the major retailers, including this traders that we came up with, use what's called customer-centric scheduling. In theory, this is a good idea because it's supposed to put bodies in the store when we need them and cut down on just people not being needed. But the problem is it doesn't really do that, like, at all. Usually you're more than likely just gonna get you know, because the way that this system works, to what I can, you know, gather, is that it's mainly used by how busy you were on that day last year. Which means if you are on a day where you were pretty much dead last year, and you're really busy that year, you're 100% fucked. Okay, like, Now, what does this mean for the customer? Because a lot of people are like really fucking selfish and just want to know what it means if you're on the consumer end of this and not the employee scale. Well, A, it means that if you need help in the store, you're just not getting it. Unless you really, really do need help, because what employees tend to do is just what anyone else in their line of work does when they're outnumbered at horrible rates. They tend to kind of like triage like who actually needs help and who just is being lazy in the retail's case. For example, and I will use some customer interactions I've had. Names have been changed if I even know them, because a lot of the times I don't, so I just call them whatever the fuck name I think fits. If I guess right, holy shit, how would I do that? But I don't really have too much of a worry guessing right here. So let's say you have a day where you do your store, say Traders does, we'll say 150,000 on a good day. That's fair, would you say? Okay, well, that 150,000, let's just say 1 year you did amazing, like, you crushed it last year, and you did 350,000 in sales. By the customer-centric algorithm, you're gonna be doing somewhere around that this year, so you're gonna get a shitload of people because they're like, oh, you know, you need people to do that, and that's fair. That is a true statement. There's just no guarantee that that's what's actually going to happen. Let's say there's a highly anticipated football game on, then you're not doing anything. Unless you are a grocery store or a bar, you are literally, you might as well shut down. Riviera used to work the garden section of the hardware store we worked at. So if you wouldn't mind telling us, like, what was a highly anticipated football game? What did that mean to the garden center? Oh, are you guys still busy? Oh, by the way, if that is you, please don't do that. If it's raining and you want mulch, I understand you want mulch. But no loader's gonna want to help you. I want to let you know. I remember that. Maybe not the best thing to say on YouTube's. But anyway, so let me give you a real world example of dead to like 100. As I'm sure it is with most hardware stores, Father's Day is a pretty busy time of the year for us. we do. I want to say we average maybe 300 to 400,000 on that day alone, because just that's how it moves. Now that's kind of an average and a guess, so don't take that as that's what we do every year, and that's kind of exactly the point. Like, let's say, again, traders. Let's say they do 250,000 on Father's Day. Well, if that Father's Day there was something going on, such as, the coof, or, you know, something else that would generally keep people inside, obviously your numbers are gonna hurt, and that means the next year to day, you're not gonna have as many people. So if it is normally a busy time of the year, which, spoiler warning, if you are anticipating needing help, if you're an employer, you should be getting on that, I would say a month at least in advance of when you think you're actually gonna need the help. If I'm busy, I don't have time to babysit a rookie. Will I? Yes, I will try. But that's just it. I'm not gonna be anywhere near as able to train the new guy on a really busy day and keep everything running perfect. Along with that, we also have the problem of, well, staffing in general. You're gonna be short-staffed, okay? I want you to know that going into this. Again, I hop departments somewhat frequently, and that's just me trying to find out where I'm good at and blah 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 blah, all that professionalism, which is weird coming from me. Shut up. I'm a professional. As I say, hopping around, firing my cannon at the weeds. This is how I mow the lawn. But, yeah, no. So when you're looking at staffing issues, again, if you're needing help, don't wait till spring when everyone else is hiring. Start hiring late winter. That way you get kind of some of the early birds. Yeah, no, you need help, and you're gonna need it a lot sooner than you think. I don't know how this surprises everybody every year. What's the number one issue that you've seen? And if I can tack on one thing to that, something that I've noticed is that with the supply issue that we're running across right now, which, by the way, we really shouldn't have this problem. The fact that we do is infuriating on several levels to me. But I'm not going to get into that because that's a somehow a political thing now. Yeah. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. It's a wrap, I guess. It's a wrap on that. Let's talk about one of the biggest points. So you can walk in, and depending on what time of day it is, some of you might notice that you're gonna run into kind of 3 different types of employees. You're gonna run into the guys that actually want to be there, and I'm saying guys just referring to personnel. It doesn't actually refer to anyone in particular. But you run into guys that want to be there. You run into guys that are coasting through just trying to get a, like a college degree or get some spending money for school or, you know, something like that. There is nothing wrong with getting money for school. There's nothing wrong with, you know, every single employee is going to have a day where they walk in and the bare minimum is you're going to be lucky to get that. Especially in today's retail where a lot of retail workers aren't being paid fair amounts to do really, and I know there are people that have shittier jobs, but really shitty jobs. There are some people who really do have it well made with certain jobs. There are certain people that don't. And everybody is different. Everyone will find certain things more and less annoying. So it's really just gonna kind of depend. I can't fault the stores too much on this one. I understand that, like, you know, not everyone's cut out for everything, and you're not going to be able to really predict that. However, you can make this easier by following some of these points. Number one, we gotta have help. I don't mean some shitty video training that most places I've gone to. I mean, like, I need to know I can actually ask somebody and get a response like they've been properly trained and they actually know what the fuck to do. Which, why is this an issue? What? Okay, yes, I know training costs people, and time, and money, and that's things that you don't want to give up. But that's kind of not an option. We don't have the luxury of just saying, I don't need, you know, you don't need this. Because if you don't have people that know what they're doing, they're not going to want to learn. Do you know why they don't want to learn? Well, one, morale really does affect a store. If you come in, Riviera, if you came into Traders every day and it was just fucking chaos, no one knew what was going on, the managers were incompetent, are you gonna even want to be there? If you need money, you might put up with it, but are you gonna be really giving a shit? Are you gonna be trying? And this is kind of something else I want to touch on. When you have a schedule that is, say, you're working 9 to 5, then you're working 1 to 10, then you're working 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you're all over the board, you're not gonna have sleep. Just that's not happening. You don't have to worry about that. 2, you're also, you can, and I know I get kind of like this. I'm not gonna say totally, but I am gonna say, like, I have gotten like this in the past where I can literally just step into a building and feel tired. Could this be solved with maybe some, like, oh, you obviously just need to, you know, get a better attitude about work. I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's not partially true. I will, however, say that's not the whole story. Because I refuse to believe that that's 100% just attitude on my part. There's no way that I'm going to be expected to come in at all hours of the day, basically, and be fucking chipper the whole time. Lastly, and this is getting into more specifics, so now we might be in a little bit of trouble if people don't like us already. They're really not going to now. But you don't want to just make it to where the only thing that your workers do is come in the same dumb, monotonous tasks. Believe it or not, if you are high up on that chain, if you're a regional or something, stop into a store one day, not to berate them, but just to see what's going on. Hey guys, what do you need help? How can I make your lives better? Because trust me, you doing that, just hell, even once or twice would probably boost morale on a insane level. As much as I don't like to admit it, the higher ups are really iconic leaders of the stores. They're the ones that can and often do set the flow for the entire business. And the reason why I say I don't like to admit that is because a lot of the times they just either straight up don't give a shit, or they're too busy counting their own money to worry about what the little guys got going on. And that's just the wrong attitude to have. No matter how big you are, that little guy is the one that got you that huge, whatever it be, a pay increase, bonus, extra vacation time. And so, appreciate that. And by all means, you know, if you're due a bonus or raise or whatever, take it. I'm not saying don't do that, I'm just saying appreciate where it came from. Anything you'd like to add on that sector, Riviera? I'm kind of... There. Oh, which, I'd like to, this is gonna turn into slightly of a story time, because I'm doing that now, it's my fucking channel. Did they blow up my health bot? Good thing I've got like 40 other bushes. Yeah, oh, but, so, I would like to tell you all a story about from when I was a cashier, and some lady decided that she was due a military discount. Now, I'm going to set the scene because I want to make sure you all understand what's going on. It is a warm summer day. Here in the state of Ohio, we don't get those all too often, so usually when we do, businesses are busy, places are booming. You know, the works. Riviera, you know I was in the garden center on this day. That's a note for you for now. And everyone else, I suppose, but it's not going to be relevant for a minute. So, but just know, I was outside in the garden center. There was a fan on, you know, a typical summer day. Actually, it was kind of boring. I mean, yeah, there were customers, but pretty boring. No one was causing a fit. I thought, hey, you know what? This is gonna be a good day. I was like, you know what, it's gonna be a good day. I feel like it's gonna be a good day because, you know, everyone's happy, things are going really great, what could go wrong? Let me tell you what went wrong. First of all, we ended up having cashier call off, so I was out there for pretty much from the open of the store to the close. Which, if you're not privy to hours around here in Ohio, that is 6 in the morning to 8 to 10 at night, depending. And And that's when most places close around here too, which is kind of funny. Kind of like, alright, we had this thing called the sun for a day. Bad Ohio. I don't know why I was trying to kill the engineer there for a second. But, so, whilst our rampage of the day ensued, and I use that word very, very deliberately, I want that to be known. we get a lull, and we get a couple guys who are in marine dress blues. They come up, they're buying plants, and basically they had to do this because their CEO told them to. They didn't know why they were buying the plants, and they didn't care. But they got their military discount because most places around here have a discount for anyone who has or is serving. Now, you're probably going to ask why I'm saying this, because it's going to sound like I'm treating the viewers like children. But just in case you don't know, the branches are as follows: the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and now Space Force, along with the Coast Guard and National Guard. That is our armed forces. That's it. Okay, but you have to admit, the name Guardian's cool. Fair. But, so, you might ask, well, what's any of this got to do with the story? This all sounds like it's going very, very well. And you're right. Riviera was actually there this day. She probably is slowly remembering the exact tale in which I am to weave. I personally do not remember doing that, but that's not gonna say it didn't happen. Ooh, Necros looks really nice. Oh yeah. Let me explain. No. Let me explain this. So, I'm gonna explain both the lady and Blondie now. You getting a double feature. Now, someone in their right mind might be like, who's Blondie and why do I care? Blondie's a cashier. She kept asking me how to put in the military discount. Can I just say basically because she's an idiot? Am I allowed to say that? Am I gonna be hurting anyone's fifis on the interwebs? I mean, I don't, so fair. Now, this lady came up, and she, the first words out of her mouth were, "I want the military discount." Which I thought was kind of rude, but like, whatever. You know, some people are in a rush, some people are just bitches, born idiots, you know, whatever, right? About to soon find out why. So this lady, had a pretty good amount in cart. I don't remember the exact total. It was in the 400 range. I only remember that because it was absurd that someone would buy that much at a garden center, in my mind. You. Bitch, we deal in thousands out there. Ah, good. But, so, and you might be, mistaken for thinking, but, wasn't it, your job to just be a trainer cashier? Well, yes, it was, but she was not a trainee. First of all, and secondly, we were pretty busy out there. I couldn't really stop and keep showing her how to do this. Or else we'd literally never look alive. Because if you've never had the pleasure of dealing with, I don't know, how many transactions would you say the garden does on average, on like an average day? Yeah. Ah, well, I have a new follower. Sup, dude? No. But, so when you're dealing with this, please remember, if you're in a garden center, it's gonna take a second. But, anyway, so this lady comes up. Again, she automatically demands a military discount, fine, whatever. And I ask her, do you have military ID on you? We have to ID people. This is not a choice. This is literally, if you don't do it, if I don't ask you for your ID, you don't get the military discount. That's how it goes, okay? That is not up for negotiation. That is not up for debate. You cannot just show me a fucking hat or a badge. Any hat or badge you show me, I can go down to the surplus store and grab 5 of. shit, depending on which one it is, I can grab a shitload more than 5 of it. It's not looking good, fellas. But, and so I started to ask her, oh, you know, what branch were you in? Because this is usually small talk that I can make with someone with a military discount, you know, ask them what branch they were in, thank them for their service. And it's genuinely nice. Also, it's kind of neat to see, you know, who's coming through, you know what I mean? She responded with AARP. AARP is not a branch of the military and does not qualify for military discount. They do a very nice insurance policy for military. I will say that they give military a nice insurance policy. Do you want to know what I'm about to say though? Do you know what an insurance policy is? Just that. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they thank you for it. I would definitely understand them thanking you for it. But, how do I put this? They ain't in the damn military. Now, I simply informed her the first time, hey ma'am, I can't give you the discount. AARP isn't in the military. And she's like, well, of course it is. We give insurance to the military. So, but you ain't military. No boot camp, no discount. And yes, that's how I decided to word it, because I feel like I need to be very direct. Now, mind you, she just wasn't getting that. Like, either she wasn't understanding that I was basically telling her I can't give you the discount, or she didn't want to. And I have a sheer thought that it was I don't want to understand this because it hurts my feebies or some bullshit. So now what happened next is kind of great, but also kind of dumb. We have an older gentleman that'll come in from time to time. He's a old vet from Korea. He's in the Air Force. I know his name, given I haven't seen him in about 3 months. I also haven't asked permission for his name to be released in the video, so I'm going to elect not to. But regardless, he leans out from his little easy shopper and he's like, "Hey, bitch, out the line." And when he says that, she looks back and acts like he's gonna take her side. Like, he's not giving me my military discount. And he's like, what branch were you? And she goes, I work for AARP. And you could see the literal look of both confusion and what the fuck in this dude's eyes. Like, it was genuinely, what the hell? But, yeah, no, that was, I will never forget that because I can't believe I had to explain to somebody the insurance firm that grants the military insurance is in fact not military. The Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, and National Guard do in fact have, I guess you could call them paper battalions or whatever the current name is, where they are just there to do paperwork. But they are still in the military. They are still doing a lot more to help our country than some bitch from AARP. Because here's the fun fact, she was acting like it was such a noble sacrifice. Okay, well, all current personnel I know get pretty much free insurance. Given their line of work, I'm pretty sure that y'all can understand why. And if you can't, well, I think Angry Cops is gonna have a word with you. So, anyway, that's pretty much my video. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Sarge. And I'll see you on the next Sarge's Recap.